Trevor May, the A's closer, retired out of nowhere yesterday, but in the process of saying goodbye to the game of baseball, he absolutely eviscerated and called out the owner of the A's, John Fisher, so we'll talk about that. Bryce Harper, he turned 31 years old yesterday, and he celebrated by joining Babe Ruth in the history books. And because of that, the debate sparked up again of who's better between Bryce Harper and Mike Trout, so we're going to talk about that. It's kind of annoying. And the Rangers, they're trying to improve to 7-0 in the playoffs, but Yordan Alvarez, Air Yordan, he might have other ideas in mind. Now, just a reminder, MLB Recap is presented by SeatGeek. Use code Fuzzy to save 20 bucks off all of your events. And also for a limited time, Underdog Fantasy will be matching your deposit up to $500 if you use code Fuzzy, so don't miss out. Now, before we talk about Trevor May and Bryce Harper and all that different stuff, let's talk about the Rangers and the Astros. Framber Valdez, he turned in one of the worst starts to a game in ALCS history. He allowed multiple singles and then whatever that was, yikes. I feel like Framber Valdez is one of the worst pitchers in baseball at throwing to first base. You would think that he'd be good at it. So one scores, another scores on a single from Adolis Garcia, and Mitch Garver, he made it 3-zip in the blink of an eye. Good thing Framber, he's facing a lefty and Nathaniel Lowe. Should be an easy, okay, now it's 4-0. In what's kind of a do-or-die game for the Astros, Framber Valdez was terrible. You know who wasn't terrible? Yordan Alvarez. He launched not just one, but 2 home runs, all while having a stomach virus. He really became Air Yordan in this one. Jonah Heim of the Rangers, he got that run right back on a solo shot, and then Bregman, he grabbed it right back on a home run of his own. Nathan Eovaldi, he was fine with that. Any pitcher will tell you they're okay with giving up solo home runs. They just can't let jams turn into rallies. Like this bases loaded jam in the 5th inning, Nathan Eovaldi, he bared up. He struck out 2 in a row, and then he got Alex Bregman a ground out, no damage done. Now the Astros, they ended up scoring a 3rd run on a Brantley double, scoring Yordan, and Yordan, he bashed another home run, this time lefty-lefty off of Aroldis Chapman. Yordan has 6 home runs and 8 RBIs in 6 games this playoffs. Now, unfortunately for Houston fans, that's where the score was going to end up, as Jose Leclerc, he has been lights out in the postseason. He had 4 up, 4 down, his 3rd save of the postseason. The Rangers, they're up 2-0 in the ALCS. They have not lost the game in the 2023 playoffs. They're 7-0. Now, if we take a look at the Game 3 matchup, we have Christian Javier versus Max Scherzer. So Max Scherzer, he has been cleared to start that game. I don't know if he's going to be on a pitch count, maybe 5 innings, maybe 6 innings, I have no idea, but the current Rangers roster is nearly hitting 290 against Max Scherzer, where on the flip side, the Rangers, they're hitting 244 against Christian Javier. So on paper, Javier has the advantage, but again, the 2023 Rangers, they're different. We'll talk about Trevor May retiring after this Diamondbacks versus Phillies game. Zach Wheeler, he gave up a single to the game's first hitter, Corbin Carroll, and that was it for a while. After Corbin Carroll got on base, Wheeler retired 15 in a row. Gallen, on the other hand, that's a first pitch home run to Kyle Schwarber, who has been awful this postseason, so it's good to see him make contact at least once. The chosen one, he stepped up on his 31st birthday, and he joins Babe Ruth in the history books. When he crossed home plate, he blew out his own 3-1 candles because he turned 31. The guy is so cool. That was his 15th postseason home run. He and Babe Ruth are the only players ever to have 15 home runs in under 50 playoff games. Castellanos, he won't stop breaking either. He had 1 home run in his first 26 playoff games. He has 5 home runs over the last 3. The birthday boy, Bryce Harper, he drove in another RBI. His postseason OPS is over 1,000 now. JT Realmuto, he drove in their 5th run, all for Zach Wheeler, who was cooking for 5 innings. Again, he retired 15 in a row at one point. He was striking out guys left and right. His sinker and slurve combination is just unfair, really. Arizona, they finally got to him in the 6th on a 2-run home run from Geraldo Perdomo, of all people. Wheeler, he ended up with 8 strikeouts on 81 pitches, so he was still very good and efficient. Kimbrel, he turned a double play to wrap up Game 1 of the NLCS. So let's talk about the Game 2 matchup. So the Rangers and Astros are playing tomorrow. The Diamondbacks and the Phillies are playing today. We have Merrill Kelly versus Aaron Nola, and on paper, the Phillies have the advantage in this one because Aaron Nola is holding the Arizona Diamondbacks roster to a 255 batting average, whereas the Phillies, in 62 plate appearances, they have a near 300 batting average against Merrill Kelly. But in my opinion, these sabermetrics and all of these predictions, they don't mean anything in the playoffs. Just like Nick Castellanos said a few days ago after a game, he said that the regular season and the postseason are 2 completely different beasts. So who really has the advantage? No one knows. Now, one more thing before we talk about Trevor May. I noticed that Mike Trout was trending yesterday, and I thought that was funny because Mike Trout is not in the playoffs, and he hasn't been in the playoffs in quite some time, but there was a discourse online of people saying that Bryce Harper has officially surpassed Mike Trout as a player, and even though I'm a Bryce Harper fanboy and stan, that's not correct. Is Bryce Harper a more clutch baseball player than Mike Trout? You can definitely make that argument considering, I mean, Bryce Harper is joining guys like Babe Ruth in the history books if we're talking about being clutch in the playoffs. So Bryce Harper, the chosen one, he has all but exceeded expectations. Mike Trout has pretty much done the exact same thing, and if we were comparing stats, stats, Mike Trout has been significantly better than Bryce Harper. He's won more MVPs. He has a better WAR. I mean, all around, Mike Trout has been a better baseball player. But if we're talking about a better career, if you're saying that Harper, because he's been more clutch and won more playoff games, he's had the better career, I guess that's up to you. It's up to your own prerogatives and what you think matters as a baseball player. But again, baseball is a team sport. That's like saying Shohei Ohtani isn't better than Aaron Judge because Aaron Judge has been to more playoff games, even though Judge hasn't been that great in the playoffs. Like, there are so many different factors when it comes to the game of baseball. You can't just say Bryce Harper is better than Mike Trout because he has more home runs in the playoffs. Maybe he's been more clutch, and if that's important to you, fine. But Bryce Harper, to me, has not had a better career than Mike Trout. Are they both first ballot Hall of Famers? In my opinion, even though Bryce Harper, what does he have? He has 1,500 base hits. If Bryce Harper retired today to pursue a career in kids television, maybe he hosts Sesame Street, he would still make the Hall of Fame without accruing any more stats. And the same can be said for Mike Trout. So for me, they're both legends, and we should stop trying to say one's better than the other. Can we just appreciate greatness? All right, I'm done. Now, yesterday, out of nowhere, the A's closer, Trevor May, so he's actually not the A's closer anymore because he was a free agent after 2023, but he's not going to be on any team going into 2024 because he officially announced his retirement. And this dude was an absolute dog to end the season. He had 9 saves and a 0 ERA over his final 15 games. He missed a ton of time towards the beginning of the season after a rough patch in April, and he stated that his mental health really took a hit. Trevor May, he opened up about his mental health. He made on and off the field content. He used to stream with Ninja. He made on-field content with vlogs and everything like that. So Trevor May was one of the more popular relief pitchers, and I think that the game of baseball is going to really miss him, but he didn't leave without throwing some shade at the owner of the A's, John Fisher. Check this out.
Now that it's official, to the A's organization and every single person part of it, I love all of you. Every single one of you except for one guy. We all know who that guy is. Let someone who actually takes pride in the things they own something. There's actually people who give a shit about the game. Take mommy and daddy's money somewhere else. Dork. If you're gonna just be a greedy, own it. There's nothing weaker than being afraid of cameras. Do what you're gonna do, bro. You're whatever. You're a billionaire. They exist. You guys have all this power. You shouldn't have any because you haven't earned any of it. It is what it is. Reality is you got handed everything you have, and now you're too soft to sit and stand in front or take any responsibility for anything you're doing. Be better. That's all we're asking. Just be a human being.
Trevor. Wow. I know that a lot of players and people in Major League Baseball agree with what Trevor May had to say. They just don't have the luxury of saying it out loud because they're not retired. So Trevor May, thank you for holding John Fisher accountable because I could not agree more. Now, am I excited for the A's to come to Las Vegas? Yes, because I'm so excited to bring vlogs to you guys. But am I sad for the city of Oakland? Yes. I wish that we would have gotten an expansion team as opposed to stealing another fan base. Like, that kind of sucks. But Trevor May, thank you for holding people accountable. I doubt that any change is going to happen, but to you, sir, I tip my cap. All right, today's Immaculate Grid. Let's see what we're rocking out with. We have the Astros and the Cardinals. Oh, this one is easy. Lance Berkman, one of the goofiest stances ever. 31%. I should have gone with All-Star for the Cardinals as Lance Berkman, but we have an Oriole and a Cardinal. Oriole and a Cardinal. I have absolutely no idea. I'll have to come back to that one. An All-Star for the Cardinals. I have Yachty, Pujols. I have, was Jason Mott, Trevor Rosenthal. Wasn't Trevor Rosenthal an all-star? I'm going to go Trevor Rosenthal. That guy was so good. He was. Okay, look at me go. Astros and the Mariners. I'm going to go with Kendall Graveman. That's a cop-out pick, but it's the easiest one. We have the Orioles and the... My camera just lagged. I have no idea what happened, but the Orioles and the Mariners, I went with Adam Frazier. An all-star for the Mariners. I mean, we got Griffey. We have... Let's go Seager. I think that Seager made an all-star team, right? The brother of Corey Seager, Kyle. There he is, 3%. The Astros and the Marlins. I'm going to go for the guy that Miami traded Brian De La Cruz for, Yimi Garcia. An Oriole and a Marlin. We have VR, Jonathan VR. Oh, I am actually doing pretty well in this one. My rating score is not the best. An all-star for the Marlins. I could go with Soler, because Soler, let's go with Soler, just because he made it this year. So we have Soler at 2%. And then I just have to remember an Oriole and a Cardinal. Why is this so hard? Wait, hold up. Didn't Andrew Miller go to the Cardinals after playing with Cleveland? I'm almost 99% sure that he got lit up as a member of the Cardinals. I'm going to go Andrew Miller because I know he came up as an Oriole. Yes, he was. He was on the Cardinals. Look at me. So that does it for today's recap. I appreciate you guys watching all the way until the end. Thank you for all the love and support as of late, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.